This week, the Dawntrail hype train truly begun. Eorzea's fish went on vacation, Xbox players got banned, and more. Welcome to This Week in Final Fantasy XIV, your dose of news, updates, and cool or interesting things that happened in the community recently. As a little note, I think you can tell by the fact that I didn't release one of these videos last week, but this series will not necessarily be released each and every week. Sometimes there just isn't enough going on to warrant one, and I don't want to release a video that I feel is forced. So today, we're actually summarising news for about 2 weeks. And thanks to the 14-hour stream on the Final Fantasy XIV channel that is ongoing as this video goes live, we have a lot to talk about. The first half of this video summarised what's happened up until the beginning of the live letter, whereas the second half is dedicated entirely to breaking down the live letter and everything you should be excited about in it. Let's begin. Firstly, the long-awaited Final Fantasy XVI collaboration event begun, with a solo duty, mount, outfit and more available as completion rewards. You can also purchase a triple triad card and a ton of Orchestrion rolls at the Gold Saucer for an accumulated total of 400,000 MGP, so make sure to do so if you're interested before the event leaves on May 8th. A number of Eorzea's most notorious legendary fish are all enjoying their spring vacation at the same time right now. Bobgoblin Bass, the legendary Heavensward fish, is currently partway through an over 1 month long period of unavailability in real time. This is the second longest period the fish has ever been unavailable for, and with its uptime being amongst the lowest in the entire game, makes it a tall order for aspiring big fish to overcome. To add to this, Deephaunt, Sidereal Whale, and Garlicthis are all halfway through roughly 2-week disappearances as well. All of these long breaks happening in tandem is something that's somewhat of a rarity. Key art of Urkapacha, a mountainous area with breathtaking views and part of Yogg-Turaul, which we'll visit in Dawntrail, was released on Twitter by the FF14 account. On top of that, we also got to see the luscious forest of Yagtel in all its glory, and I'm so sorry if I butchered those names. I tried my best. Xbox Final Fantasy XIV players are reportedly having a pretty rough time of it. According to their Reddit post, this Xbox user was banned by Xbox for using the term free company in chat, which can be considered solicitation according to them. Their initial appeals failed and their ban withstood, but after the post gained massive traction, including articles being written about it, the suspension was eventually reversed and the player was able to log in once more. He's hoping that typing free company is no longer a bannable offence going forward. The Crystarian Prodigy's attire, Alphino's old outfit, was released on the Mogstation this week. As a note, this outfit is character bound and is not dyeable. After the Dawntrail release date was announced, content creator Xuplosion posted a predicted timeline of upcoming patches and content releases, running all the way through from release to patch 7.3. Of course, this is all prediction, but I think this is accurate enough based on previous expansion release cycles to give players a good idea of roughly when we could expect content to actually come out. Don't take this as categorical fact or book time off work solely based off this, make sure you wait for initial announcements for that, but I love having access to reliable predictions personally. I think it's very useful. Now we're going to go in depth on the latest live letter, which just took place at the Final Fantasy XIV 10th anniversary 14-hour celebratory stream. This is live letter number 80. The live letter opened up with the full benchmark trailer being showcased, giving us a glimpse into the graphics update, new zones, mounts, enemies, and even abilities. We saw new outfits, player hubs, a scene in combat including the level 100 artifact gear for many jobs, and of course, most importantly, the alpacas. In the tail end of the benchmark trailer, we saw Pictomancer in action, dungeon scenery, as well as a taste of Dawntrail bosses. The benchmark releases tomorrow, April 14th at 12 AM PDT. You can download it, create your character and see them in the trailer, as well as testing if your PC is up to the task. They then showed us the graphics update live in-game, with a comparison between the current 6.58 version of FF14 versus how it will look in 7.0 when Dawntrail releases. One example they showed us was in Elpis, where grass tufts will move in response to the player walking through them. They also made flying mounts bank left and right whilst turning, making them look way better in motion. As a note, this has only been changed on mounts that would make sense to bank while turning. They then showed us the ground in the Dravanian Fallens, yeah, I know, as a showcase of the increased detail and visual fidelity. After that, they took us to Thavnair to show off how much better character models close-up look, and they showed us how wet clothes and wet character effects will look in 7.0, showcasing the improved textures and lighting a bit more. I'm going to leave a little slideshow playing of some of the screenshots that I took that showcase the graphical update in more detail. .7.0's anti-aliasing was also explained, as well as their 2 new rendering methods being showcased. There's also a new soft shadow option being added to the game. There are options to increase how soft the shadows will be. You can see the difference here. The closer an object and its shadow is, the firmer the lines will be. The leaves in this instance are further away, therefore they're going to be more blurry than, say, the trunk or the branches. Yoshi P then went a little bit off script and showed us live footage of one of the new Dawntrail zones. I can't stress how much better this looks in motion. The graphics update is really showing its caliber here. This is a zone in Tural. Yoshi P noted that this shows off the soft shadows he mentioned earlier pretty nicely. Then, thanks to a quick console command, he shifted it to nighttime so we can properly appreciate the lighting. I'm gonna let a few more screenshots of the zone play out here. Super resolution will be implemented on all platforms. AMD FSR 1.0 will be enabled by default, but if you have a graphics card that supports the more advanced DLSS 2.0, they recommend you go over to that. Scaling options and enabling dynamic resolution settings in the system config menu are also shown off here. They then mentioned that the PS4 and Xbox Series S are still supported and will be receiving the graphics update as well, but certain features are not available on them. For example, on PS4 super sampling is reduced, and dynamic resolution as well as low detail models on distant objects will be automatically enabled to allow the system to run the game effectively. Yoshi P also discussed a long-awaited change. In 7.0, FF14 will be receiving improvements to its blacklist function. He specifically cited adding a feature that allows you to prevent certain people from entering your house in order to improve player-run events. Characters added to the no entry list will be unable to enter for 10 days. There's a mute list, a term filter, the ability to kick people from your house, and more. Lodestone privacy settings are also improved. On top of this, when you blacklist a player, their character model will also be invisible to you, not just their chat messages. This applies to all characters on their service account, and not just the one you blacklisted in particular, to prevent harassment via the use of alternative characters. Blacklisted characters will, however, be displayed when partied together in a duty, but their name will be displayed as unknown, and then you will have the option to temporarily display their messages in party chat or ignore them. The mute list is now taking the function of the old blacklist, and will only hide their chat messages rather than their entire character. The same in-duty constraints and protections as blacklist exist, but their character name will not be hidden. The term filter allows you to hide messages containing specified terms, and applies to say, tell, yell, shout, and emote chat, but not to the other chats like Link Shell. The enhanced Lodestone privacy will allow you to limit who can view certain aspects of your profile, or even remove yourself from character searches entirely. A block list has also been added to the lodestone itself. The Yokai Watch collaboration event will be returning before Dawntrail, coming back on Wednesday, April 24th. A special Yokai Watch adventure plate will be available as a part of this collab. On top of that, the schedule for the lead up to Dawntrail was released, including dates for the media tour, which will take place between the 15th and 30th of May. There will also be a 48-hour maintenance before Dawntrail itself, in which the game will be unplayable. The next live letter focusing on jobs, maybe with a job action trailer, will be happening on the 16th of May. And that is all of the news from the live letter today, as well as all of the news that happened in Final Fantasy XIV over the last few weeks. I hope you found it useful or interesting, and I will be back in the future when there's more things to talk about. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and enjoy the benchmark.